So why, if it's so easy, if it seems so easy to make positive choices, why do people continue to make poor choices? There are 4 traps that we face, and I want to give you these traps because you will be faced with these exact traps that will keep you from being able to stay on a course of making positive choices. So here they are. Number 1, while you are making positive choices or poor choices, the results are invisible. So it's easy to get faked out. You think that the choices you're making right now don't matter. Now, I could completely change this for you if I could take the space-time continuum and collapse it. You make a choice right here today, and then we go out 20 years, and I could show you the outcome of that choice and collapse it and show it to you right now. You would instantly start making different choices. The problem is this space-time continuum between choice and outcome. So if you, upon taking a bite of your first hamburger and fries, your gut exploded, you had to grab your chest and fall down in a heart attack, or let's say upon your first meal with a hamburger and fries, the next morning you woke up like this, would you eat another hamburger? Probably not. Now, how do you get like that? One hamburger at a time. That's all. Well, let's just say the first time you take a puff of a cigarette, you have a cigarette, you put it out, you're like, I feel pretty good, because you probably breathed deeply for the first time in a long time. Feels pretty good, right? But let's say the next morning you woke up like this. Would you have another cigarette? Or let's just say, you're a young guy, and it looks pretty cool. Your friends think you're cool smoking a cigarette. Like, this kid looks like James Dean here, right? I mean, nothing but positive affirmation at this point. But let's say we could take the space-time continuum and collapse it and take his future self and communicate to his boy self. This is what will happen, one single cigarette at a time. Or let's just say one day you decide, I don't want to make these extra phone calls today. I got to pick up the laundry, the kids, I have a headache. I just don't want to do it today. I'll make up for it tomorrow. But the first day you don't make your extra calls and your house is up on foreclosure, would you make the calls tomorrow? Or let's just say, in the heat of the battle, tonight I just don't feel like going there. I'm just not giving in. I'm just not doing it tonight. And you decide to hold your ground in the midst of an argument. But the next morning, you wake up to divorce papers, and you've got to look your little girl in the eye and explain why you couldn't make the right choice. If we can close this space-time continuum and show you the exact outcome of this choice right now, today, you would, in fact, make different choices. See, what happens here is every single choice has a butterfly effect in your life. You've heard of the butterfly effect, right? Butterfly flaps its wings somewhere else on the planet, there's a tsunami. Same thing with your choices. These small little choices you're making, somewhere else in your life down the road is a tsunami of outcome, both positive as well as negative. Now, I'm not saying you got to be dogmatic about everything you do. Yeah, your grandmother was right, everything in moderation. But you need to know that on that cheat day, those choices are still having a butterfly effect in your life. There is no cheat day for the compound effect. There is no respite. Everything has a consequence, both positive and negative, in outcome over time. So the answer to this is you have to have patience. As you start making some of these positive choices and you don't see any differences in results, it can become frustrating. The answer is you just have to become patient and allow the compound effect to add up, stack up until down the line, it seems to have explosive results. Here's trap number 2. Along the way, it's subtle and deceptive. The compound effect can be subtle and deceptive. Here's what it's like. Imagine you were taking a trip from Los Angeles Airport to LaGuardia in New York. And while the plane is on the tarmac, it's pointed directly at LaGuardia. Directly. If the nose of that plane is off only 1 degree, so from here to here, from here to here. Can you see the difference? From here to here, just 1 degree. By the time it gets to its destination, it'll be 150 miles off course. This is how it happens, people. 10 years down the road, and you get here and you go, how did I get so fat? How did I get divorced? How did I end up in bankruptcy? How did my house end up in foreclosure? You could have just been 1 degree off. That's all. And you're 150 miles off course from your goal, from your dreams, from your aspirations. So just like a plane has at the nose of a plane, it has a gyroscope. So no matter what happens along the journey, it readjusts its path. So if there's weather, if there's traffic, if there has to be a course correction, the computer system relocks onto the target. No matter what happens, it relocks onto the target. Well, in the air, there's not a whole lot of obstacles. But on the ground, life is more like this. A double black diamond ski run. You're like, there's the lodge with the hot cocoa and fire. And between me, I could just go straight at it, but it's going to be nothing but elbows and elbows. That's not going to work out, right? So you're going to start straight, and then you're going to get hit with a mogul, and you're going to be pushed to the left. You might not even notice it. And if you don't readjust, you'll ski right off the mountain. So you got to adjust and come back on. And then you're going to get hit with another mogul, and it's going to push you off course. But you have to readjust and reconnect with your target. And it's going to be rocky and bumpy. And as you start to make positive choices, you're going to fall off the wagon. The key is getting back on, readjusting and readjusting. So you too need a gyroscope in your life like there is at the nose of a plane. And I'll show you one to provide you one that you can walk out with. Here's the third trap. Immediate gratification. As a society, as a culture, we have become addicted to immediate gratification. We want what we want, when we want it, and we want it now. And it's become our cultural meme, this impatience. I want to be gratified, pleasured now. And there's no ability to delay gratification. So when faced with this choice, okay, it's the end of dinner, still a little bit hungry, do I have chocolate cake or a glass of water? There's the choice we're faced with all throughout the day, every single day, or a choice like that. So what happens if you choose the chocolate cake? What do you get? Yeah, you get happy. I mean, you get warm, delightful, delicious chocolate cake. That's what you get. You get gratified. You get pleasured. Now, what happens if you choose the glass of water? What do you get? Nothing. Bupkis. That's what you get. Therein lies the problem. That is the base problem of your ability to make positive choices. Because if you make the wrong choice, you are actually satiated. You are actually rewarded. If you make the right choice, you get squat. No recognition, no pleasure, no gratification whatsoever. That is the great conundrum. And we come up through this immediate gratification thing pretty early in life. You can see that. Where we are constantly trying to pleasure ourselves at every turn. And then we are surrounded with solicitations to satisfy our temptations. All day, every day, we are constantly pulled on and tugged on for all of these temptations to gratify ourselves, which is like walking through a minefield of being able to stay on course with your positive choices. So here's the great paradox. What gives us short-term pleasure? The chocolate cake, going home, watching Dances with the Stars, holding your ground in an argument, creates long-term pain. On the other side of that, what gives you short-term pain? Doing the workout, picking up the phone, introducing yourself to somebody you're scared to meet, creates long-term pleasure. And my mentor here, Mr. Jim Rohn, he put it this way. He said, you will suffer one of two pains, which right in there is some fantastic wisdom. And that wisdom is what? You will suffer. Like, get that. This is going to be painful, this process called success in life. But you get to choose the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. Now, as he put it, the pain of discipline weighs ounces. Working out, picking up the phone, saying I'm sorry. But the pain of regret weighs tons. Divorce, bankruptcy, estranged relationships with close family, that weighs tons. I interviewed Can you imagine? Donald Trump, we were in front of 25,000 people. I was interviewing him on stage, and he said one thing finally throughout the hour that I thought was good. I'll pass it on to you here. He said, when you're in doubt with what choice to make, just do the thing you don't want to do. That's usually exactly what you should do, which is exactly right. Do I want to work out? I don't want to work out. I probably should work out. Chocolate cake, water. I really want chocolate cake. I really don't want water. Water is what I probably should choose. So if you're going through this conundrum of making choices along the way, whatever it is that you don't want to do is probably exactly the thing that you should do. So let me give you a bonus. This is extra. I'm not charging extra for this. A bonus on little goal achievement, sort of using this principle. Here's what it is. Take each goal that you've got, whatever it is. Build a big successful business, create intimacy in your marriage, whatever it is. Number 2, list what are the things to achieving this goal that I don't want to do. They're either hard, or they're difficult, or they're scary. Write all those things down. This is a really important exercise, by the way. And then 3, spend 80% of your time doing those things. And you, versus all your colleagues, all your peers, will actually achieve more goals than any of them. Because the things that you don't want to do are usually the things that are going to separate you from everyone else in actually achieving those goals. So there's a nice little formula for you. Here's the last trap, number 4. What's easy to do is also easy not to do. So it's easy to eat an apple a day to keep the doctor away. We've heard that all our lives. It's easy to walk around the block for your good health. It's easy to pick a moment once or twice throughout the day to show some affection or some appreciation. It's easy to pick up the phone and call people. It's easy to write thank you letters. It's easy to drink 8 glasses of water a day. All those things are ridiculously easy, but what's the problem? They're also easy not to do. So I have an important question for this intelligent audience. What do successful people and unsuccessful people have in common? Anybody know? Here's what it is. They both hate to do what it takes to be successful. Successful people just do it anyway. Do I like getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning when it's still dark outside and cold and leaving the warm embrace of my beautiful bride to strap on running shoes to go pound pavement out in the middle of the morning? I do not. After a long, hard day's work, where I just really want to go and sit on the couch and turn off my brain, do I want to go into a sweaty gym with a bunch of hairy dudes pushing around a bunch of lead iron? I do not. In the heat of a battle with my wife, when I know that I'm right, do I want to say, "You're right, honey, I'm sorry"? I do not. No. But why do I do those things? Because that's what it takes to be successful. So I think for people who are not really successful, I think it's actually liberating to know that successful people hate to do this stuff too. But they just do it anyway. And that's what makes them successful. So don't think like, people who are in great shape, they just love vegetables. They just love to exercise. This person, the reason why it's so great is that they just love prospecting. They love being rejected. It's just fun for them. No. We all hate this stuff. But we just do it anyway. And doing it anyway is what gets us on the other side of the ledger. So let me tell you about the day that changed my life. I was 18 years old. I walked